Hey, welcome to this week at Gear Report at our fresh new time. So we have been doing this on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have just moved to Thursday at 9 p.m. So big change. We're going to kill a little time now and chat while the notices go out because I'm sure there are some people who were wondering where we were last night and are not yet aware that we are actually doing the show this evening. So it may take a few minutes for people to roll in because we're doing things a little bit differently today. But hey, that gives me an opportunity to talk about our sponsor, Riton Optics. Thank you so much, Riton, for being a part of this week at Gear Report. We appreciate that you've helped us with the cost of the software that allows us to multicast and show up on a lot of different platforms. So thanks again. We really appreciate your support there. We may actually have another what's up, Gizzard Gary? And I got to tell you, Gun Snob, Gary's comment was actually first. I don't know if he's a fake or not. I think he's the real Gun Snob. He may be fake in some other ways, you know. But all right, let me silence my phone. There are some heated discussions going on in a Facebook private message group that I don't want to be a part of right now. Mystic is here. Okay, we can start. Good. Lots of trash talking happening already. That can generally be a good sign for the momentum that we're going to build. DJ, play nice there. All right, good. So everyone has got that. He owns two High Point. He owns a rather fancy, like high dollar, had a lot of work and money put into it. High Point, if I remember right. And remember, he does have that outdoor. So that also was a pretty hefty, like $100 investment that he made. So we can't discount that. That Snub has some things to kind of have his nose in the air about. All right, good. So this week at Gear Report, let's get the ticker going there at the bottom. Here we have this week at Gear Report. Oh, yeah. I couldn't forget the outdoor. Oh, it was free. Wait a second. We actually say the shield word? I didn't think we said that. At least not out in the open in public. But seriously, it's an interesting topic that I've had people before. You at the range. Oh, where'd you get that? Yeah, absolutely. Brand sent it, and so you say good things about it. I'm like, if all I ever did was say good things about it, there probably would be a lot of brands wanting to send me stuff. But I tend to take the approach of if we're honest and thorough and really try to help people figure out what's going to be a good fit for them, who is going to be happy with a product and who's not, then we're actually adding value. Everyone, wins in that scenario. And then brands will want to send more things because we're helping people figure out if their product is going to bring them joy. Snob has the most amazing and awesome wife. That is, as far as you know, that is kind of similar to how he described it. Yeah, as far as you know. Good. All right. Welcome, everyone. A reminder that if you're out there and you haven't said anything, please let us know. We don't know you're there until you say something. And I see that we've got a couple viewers on the Facebook platform. So remember, if you're on Facebook and you want to leave a comment, then you have to go to, I think it's StreamYard.com/Facebook and give it permission to identify who you are when it leaves a comment. Otherwise, you end up just being like anonymous user. All right, what do we got here? Checks in the mail. I hope that check's for me. Not sure what we're talking about there. Good evening to you, Mr. Sanders, who clearly has already gone to StreamYard.com/Facebook and given permission for them to tell us who he is when he leaves a comment. So he's not just a Facebook user. The outdoor, I'll tell you what, for as much as he gripes about the outdoor, he takes it with him everywhere. He shows it to everyone. He is clearly getting some mileage for the brand with the outdoor. So where is TJ? That's a very good question. TJ had, I think, an 8 o'clock basketball game this evening. So since we didn't start till 9 o'clock, he may actually show up at some point. But for now, we are running Sans TJ for the evening. If anyone out there, any of the regulars out there would like to join me, turn your camera on, turn your mic on, whatever, let me know. I will, if you don't have the link already, many of you already have the link. If you don't have the link already, let me know, and I will share it with you. For lying about what I said about Myth. Oh, for that. Yeah, I don't recall lying about that. I mean, I never heard you say anything but good things about her. I mean, you have left some nasty comments about her, but that was public. I mean, everyone saw that. But in private, I don't recall you ever saying anything bad about her. But I mean, you're welcome to send me money. That's fine. I don't turn down money. We all saw it. That's the thing. It's kind of bizarre, isn't it? All right. So this week at Gear Report, we have an agenda, as we always do. We start with, nope, not that one. Recently completed reviews, which last week killed every bit of momentum that we had in the discussion. So please hang with me. Don't leave just because we're talking about product. We actually have some cool things to talk about this time. Let's see, today is the 21st, so the last show, wow, we've actually got a lot to talk about. The last show was on a Wednesday. That was the 13th. So that means that we have a knife review is the one we're going to start with. So I got that open. Go to share screen. And is that the right one? Sorry, bear with me. Operator error here. I clicked the wrong to open the wrong article. There we go. That's why I couldn't find it, because I hadn't opened it. All right, so I'm going to get rid of recently completed reviews, and we will make this full screen so you don't have to look at me while we're going through this. So this, I thought this was kind of neat. I don't know a lot about the Damascus process for making knives and working with steel. If anyone knows and you have any insight into that, feel free to share it with us. This is one that Caleb, our hunting editor, got to review. The Forsetti Steel sent the Boone Skinner. And I thought it was interesting. You can certainly see from the pictures, the knife looks nice. It comes in a nice little box. It's a kind of presentation gift grade knife. I think it costs about $100, he said. But where it kind of fell apart, and this is just flat out silly, from the brand perspective, it makes you wonder, why would a brand put all this time and effort into making a really cool product and then lose it on, in this case, the sheath? Like, it's a nice little leather sheath, but the way it fixes to the belt with one loop, it gets handle heavy. And if your snap comes open, your knife falls out. So you literally can't wear it vertically. You have to wear it with one belt loop, one loop on the sheath through your belt. And that just really doesn't work. Caleb wasn't a fan of the feeling of the knife kind of hanging by the handle, and that kind of ruined it for him. And I think it would ruin it for me too. If you want to see the pros and cons, he's got some good pros and cons here, not just the sheath. If you want to see them, go check out the article. I'm not going to ruin Caleb's article by telling you everything about it. You can go read it if you'd like to have some additional information on that. Ouch. Man, when I opened that email to send the introduction, I never did it. I do recall last time we talked about this saying, hey, send me an email so I don't forget. And I never got that email. So, of course, I forgot. So that was my way of kind of shifting the blame. So that one's not on me. All right, we already got that one. I'm opening a couple articles in the background so that we can be a little bit more quick going through the reviews that have been published. I've been busy. Yeah, tell me about it. That's the good thing about what we do is if you're remotely good at it, a lot of brands want to work with you, and you end up too busy. You don't have time for little things like sending people emails. So congrats on being busy enough that you don't have time for emails. All right, so this one, I looked at the title of this, Essentially Engineered Hydro Expander and Mug Integrator Review. And those names are pretty, lots of big words-ish. What would you call that? That is like really hydro expander. That's what you want to call it. But you can watch the video in here to see, unfortunately, on the screen here.
What's up, YouTube? And welcome to another episode of
a little bit hard to see. I want to get to where we see what the products are here because the pictures were a little tough. All right, so you see your cups falling over. So these are actually something, they're showing it with the Jeep, but it's not a Jeep product. It's a product for any cup holder where the cup holder is a certain diameter, and maybe you have a cup that doesn't fit in that cup holder. You slide this little insert in it, and it'll allow you to put something larger in the cup holder, which is actually a kind of neat idea. So they've got the two different options there. If you want all the details on them, then obviously you can go find this article, you can read about it, and then you can watch the video, and you can see all the stuff that I'm skipping past here and how it all fits together. And it made Kim happy because she's smiling there. Boom. All right. So there is the Essentially Engineered Hydro Expander and Mug Integrator. Boom. And that one's done. See, we're churning through the previously published stuff here. Oh, my goodness. And Clover is harassing me in the private chat.
I was.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing you did because I didn't see you down there. I didn't hear the little ding.
Yeah.
It dings usually when someone shows up, and I didn't hear it. So.
I apologize for being late, so dock my pay. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Oh, you're getting a big chunk taken out of the pay for this one.
That's fine. Yeah, let's take all of it for all I care. What is 100% of zero again? I fell asleep in math class.
Dude, you're not going to trick me into doing math.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, you changed on me, man. You changed on me. It's always been Wednesday, and then you were like, I've got 2 podcasts scheduled for this week and next week on Thursdays, and then you changed on me. So I'm like, well, crap. Well, maybe I can at least come in late and give you grief. So,
well, you're getting settled in now. That's good. But I'm going to make another change on you. Are you ready?
Sure. Yeah.
Boom.
Ooh. What's up?
Just now. Like that. from 1 to 3 in the blink of an eye, or 2 blinks of an eye, or
it's like tough. That. Adult competitive kickball.
Oh, kickball. See, I said basketball. It was kickball. Yep.
Nah, kickball tonight.
Yeah. All right. So, did you guys win?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Oh, good. It's not that I doubted you or anything. I was just curious.
No, come on. You know who I am. I know, Snob. It's about time. I know.
All right.
I had to wait on Crystal. It's her fault. I blame her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say you had to wait on her.
She's had a few. So I dropped her off at the bar. I was like, all right, see you.
Oh. That could never backfire.
No. I'll get her later. It's fine.
All right. Well, welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
And
what I missed.
Leprechaun himself. We made it through a couple of the published reviews. I'm going to keep on churning so we can get that out of the way. We'll get that out of the way, and then we can get to the fun stuff. So,
I like it.
All right. Next, let me find where the next one is. Share screen, and we will go with. I'll tell you what. Why don't we do the XP reactor earplugs next?
I like it.
There we go. All right.
That looks familiar.
It should. It should, because you spent months and months putting this review together.
I paid somebody $5 on Fiverr, but whatever you believe, I'm good with it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's funny is someone sent me an article to publish today, because we do that. Anyone can submit anything, and if it's good enough, I'll publish it. And this one was right on the edge. I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, with some light editing, I can make this okay. But it kind of had that feel of either the person who wrote it really can't even spell grammar, or it was like one of those $5 Fiverr type articles. I don't know, but it's actually got some pretty good stuff in it. I'm just having to do a little more cleanup on it than I would like. But, I know people who are like, it's the internet. Who cares? Whatever. Just publish. I'm like, nah, we don't work that way here.
So did you edit this one of mine?
Yeah.
You did. Okay. So this is my triumphant return, obviously, to Gear-Report writing. So how much grief did it give you? Be honest. I can handle it.
What did I do to this? I did almost nothing to this one.
Cool.
There
you go, Clover.
I'm trying to think of something. I'm pretty sure I did something. I think you did too good of a job in that I like to sneak a couple of my own affiliate links in the text. And I was like, there's not a freaking opportunity anywhere here, which is fine, which is absolutely fine.
Well, you have my permission, obviously, because it's your platform, it's your website. So change them out if you need to change a few.
Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that, Clover. You won't have any left.
No, I wouldn't do that. But I think I was able to get one in there somewhere, or no, two. I did the solid foam and the silicone plugs. So I found some products that weren't mentioned, like that you hadn't put a link anywhere in there.
Right.
And I put them in there, and I think I may have done an axle one that I put somewhere, but I don't take people's links away. I look for opportunities to put new ones.
Well, I try not to get too crazy with it. Right? So I try not to do every single word that says axle. I don't I don't do an axle link, or that's aggravating when I go and read through articles that are that way. So
and that's part of the reason that I sometimes have trouble finding a place to put them, because I'm like, the density of links is enough. And there's actually a tool that when the articles are published, it will automatically look for link opportunities and insert them. Sometimes I've had people get mad at me. Like, someone wrote an article about a year and a half ago and said, hey, you put some links in before my link.
I remember that.
And I said, okay, number one, I can do that if I want to. Number two, in this specific case, one of them I put in, and I think there were three before his first link. And one of them I had put in, the other two were automatically inserted by the software.
Right.
And I said, but dude, this is the way it goes,
I'm the total opposite. I put minimum in.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's enough behind the scenes stuff. What do you want to say about these earplug filter?
Well, this is going to be the first of 3 axle products, making my return with those. I've come to like the company. I think they've got some pretty decent stuff. Now this one, I think I gave pretty good marks on this. I think 4.5 stars on this. And
you did.
A little bit of a spoiler alert is that these, I actually used these back in March. Have been using these since back in March. But the only drawback, because of, I blame the only drawback, which you'll have to read the article. I'm not going to give that away. But because of what I feel is the only drawback with these, for what they are, right? They're just silicone plugs with a sound filter technology in them.
Sure.
They're not battery operated or anything like that, which I like. They're great. You don't have to worry about batteries. You just throw them in and go. But the drawback, I ended up losing one. And so that hurt a little bit. But it was a little bit bittersweet because that kind of forced me into using some more of the axle products. And more to come on, obviously, on those reviews. But I'm sort of enjoying those as well.
Cool. TJ, did you get your axle headset yet?
I did today. I was excited.
Awesome. The GS Extreme?
I don't. It's still in the box. I didn't even open it.
It's the next one that's going to be published.
I saw the Sexy Steve sticker, and I was like, oh, all right, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Right.
So
Right.
Sexy Steve is TJ's cat, by the way.
Yeah.
So whenever I send products to TJ to review, they go to Sexy Steve.
That way, Crystal knows not to open them because she'll open my crap, and I'll be like, "Where's this at?" Oh, I found it like a week ago. I'll be like, "Awesome."
Yeah, so these are neat. I completely agree with what you said about anything that's loose like that. They'll fall out. I'll lose one, whatever. I've gotten to the point where I really like the ones with the tether, but I've really had so the filter technology here, where it's completely non-electronic, right? It's like some sort of
concussion
the size
filter
of the orifice that's on the inside allows some stuff to pass through, but not others, or something. I'm not even sure exactly how the technology works, but did you feel like these worked well?
Yeah. So prior to using these, I wrote this, I think, in the article. I had been using the Radians. They call them gel. They're snug plugs or snug plug gel plugs or something, but they're a solid silicone or rubbery type substance. I guess it would be silicone, right? So anyway, solid. And I've been super happy. I mean, they were on what was almost like a shoestring, and I've used those for, good Lord, 2 decades or something, and I just never had any inclinations to switch to anything else. Now, I have used stuff, right? I've used foamies. I've used, muffs. I used this, that, and the other. I've got a pair of electronic earbuds I've had for many, many years that I use in hunting or did. But those Radians snug plugs were kind of always my go-to until I tried these. Now, the beauty of these, and it has to do with that filter, is I can put I don't know how to explain this. Okay, you know how when you close your ear, there's almost like a vacuum or it's weird, right? There's a pressure difference, right? Mm-hmm. Like when even if you put your finger in your ear, right? Yeah. And so if you use a solid plug of some kind, you get that same effect where it's weird. You can kind of hear your heartbeat almost or something, right? It's like, it's weird. It's a pressure thing, right? So 2 things, because these use that filter, you don't really have that pressure issue, right? Because it's kind of got a way to equalize, right? With that filter, they're not solid. And then the other thing is, when I was using those solid silicone plugs, they, as far as hearing people, right? Hearing other things, hearing quieter noises was a little more difficult, right? Because they were literally plugging my ears. There was there was no possible way for any kind of sound to get in. Whereas these, with that filter, you're able to get some more of those quieter, subtle noises. Now, don't get me wrong. These are not like amplified type earplugs or anything like that. They're totally passive in nature. But they do allow more of that ambient sound and those quieter sounds and noises to come in. So, and honestly, the way that the silicone is, and it's got the different levels and layers, they just fit better, and they are just more comfortable and stuff.
Well, that's good. I've used Decibels has they do a molded, where this has got like a silicone that you push in. Decibels is like a molded hard plastic that you heat up and mold it to your ear, but then they have the same type of filters in the middle. Those work awesome for me. I actually have a set in my event bag. I've got the big headset, and then I've got the little plug filters, and I'll switch back and forth between them. When I get kind of claustrophobic feeling from the headset, then I'll put the filters in, and those work really well. But then I've also got these, was it Safariland, I think, sent me these. They're supposed to be filters. They're like these little rubber nubby things. It's like a silicone out here and hard plastic on the back. They got caps that fit over to completely close it off, but it's supposed to be that same type of filter when they're open. TJ may remember, we were at an event and I put these in one shot. I was like, oh no, these are coming out. Give me that damn headset.
I think I did
Yep.
I did the same thing. I was like, boom. I was like, oh, these suck.
Yep. Yeah.
That's
Who
not
knows?
good.
It may have been user error. I don't know.
No. I've used them. I've used them several times after that, and I'm still.
Yeah, I've shot. I've used these with pretty much any caliber you can think of, right? So, and they've done fine. So, I do say, I think in the article I talk about obviously losing one because of that one what I would consider a drawback. I think there was 2 drawbacks, but that was the big one. I've lost one, and I'll definitely pick up a few more sets of them. Just more or less waiting on a sale, and that's one of the great things. And I don't think I mentioned it in this article and some of the subsequent ones on really the more expensive, higher end Axle stuff. Definitely going to mention it, but Axle does run some pretty good specials and sales, and when they do that, I'm probably going to pick up 2 or 3 sets of these just so if I end up losing another one, I've got backups.
Yeah. All right, well, we appreciate that. I've gotten to where I'm kind of spoiled, and I like to have the amplification that comes with the electronic headsets.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, just to be able to talk with a very slight reduction and not have to worry about batteries or big bulky stuff on my ears, the filters really do have a place. So I'm glad that technology's out there. I appreciate you sharing that review.
And see, I'm just the opposite. Like if I'm going hunting, if there's a special application, I do like the amplification aspect. Or if I'm in a competition setting with a whole bunch of people, right? But for me, having a range here at the house, and at any given time, just being able to walk out and shoot, and you've got something that requires batteries, right, or requires charging, screw that. I just want to grab, plug, go shoot. You know what I mean? And I don't have to worry about it.
Absolutely.
So for me, it's handier.
And especially when you are shooting at your own range by yourself.
Right.
It's not like there's someone there to talk to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
that's why I shy away from. Sometimes I go to the indoor range a lot, and those really. Sometimes the guy next to you will be shelling stuff, and you're just like, all right, I need the over your stuff.
Yeah. All right, what we got here? I was about to open the next one and move on. Let's see what we got here. Axle GS Extremes and Howard Lights are just like them. So I think the GS Extreme might be what TJ just got. I don't remember.
I don't know. I didn't open it yet. I got home from work and I was like, "Oh, Sexy Steve." I was like, "I know what those are."
That's the one that they really do push is that GS Extreme.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk to Colin at it's Tracker all-purpose earmuffs. That's what.
Now the Tracker Blue or just the Tracker?
All right. Un momento, por favor.
Tracker will be the next article I've got coming out.
Well, that's what I was saying. I believe it's the one that's coming up next is what these are.
Yeah,
so
that's just the Tracker. Yeah.
And you can see where they were last purchased, October 19th.
My birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anyhow, and they do look strikingly like the Howard Lights. So although they have looks like a more comfortable headband. So they cost twice as much. So hopefully those will be okay. And we'll see soon enough what both of you think of those since you both have them.
We will find out.
That we will. Okay. So yep, that's how TJ got them. As I saw them on Vine.
That's how I get stuff. That's how I get stuff, Snob.
Yep.
I'm not complaining.
Oh, look at that! Everyone's favorite realtor from the greater Denver metropolitan area is with us. So good to see you. And
Uncle Hefe.
Yeah, I don't know why he calls me that. I think we're about the same age, but whatever.
I got a big range day Saturday. I'm coming up. I'm excited.
Oh, wow. Well, we're not at that yet.
I know.
Caldwell. So I've got some Caldwells too. And what I found is that they're real scratchy, meaning, any kind of movement, I hear too much like clothing noise and that kind of stuff when I wear the Caldwells,
Yeah.
or the electronic ones. I don't know what the deal with
I
those
had
is.
so first time I ever used, interesting story. The earbuds that I've got that are electronic are called Sound Gear. And I think the company's still around. They were uber expensive back in the day. Luckily, I got them through a Friends of the NRA banquet. But and they're amazing. I still use them. They go through batteries, those hearing aid batteries, like crazy. But because it's just old tech. But I remember the first time taking those out on the range, the 4-H shooting sports range with the kids, right? And I'm standing there on the firing line, and of course I'm able to hear things because they are amplified. And I keep hearing this crackling, and I'm like, it's driving me insane. And I'm like, these things are goofing up. What is going on? And I turn around, and there's somebody probably 20, 25 yards away from me that's rolling a water bottle in their hand. And I could literally hear somebody rolling a water bottle in their hand from 20, 25 yards away. It was insane.
Yeah. First time I wore the Howard Light headset, the amplified headset, I got them. They showed up in the evening. The next morning, I was sitting in a deer stand. So I'm sitting up there, and I swear there was a massive buck walking around at the bottom of the ladder. I was in a ladder stand, so I'm about 15 feet up in the air up against a tree, and I can hear it like it's about to walk up the ladder. It's right there. But I'm looking around as quietly as I can, craning my neck, looking all over. He must be invisible. But I hear him. I know he's right here. He was 82 yards away in the middle of a field walking across.
Yep.
And it sounded so freaking loud that I knew he was right there with me.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, when I got those that I had between myself and my younger daughter, there wasn't a squirrel in the county that stood a chance.
All right. So where are we here? Let's go to the next one. We'll make this one quick because Karami is not here to talk about it. And I don't know what's going on here. I'm getting this link that pops up at the top where there should be the image for the article. And I don't know why it's doing that. It's a little WordPress problem that I think on the last update they made that started popping up. So we'll have to see what that is. And Clover, the one thing that I didn't actually change on your article, but I thought, I got to remember to mention this because there's several people who don't do this. The idea with the gears rating at the top is we do gears rating, however many gears it is. And then this is actually kind of long. I like to see just a quick sentence or two. Like this is your executive summary at the top that says, this is good because, or, if you're going to do this with the product, you'll probably like it, that kind of thing. And then, it's like the teaser executive summary. So if that's all they need, they can see that and then they can click and go buy it if they want, or nope, this isn't going to work for me, whatever. But that's the only opportunity that I've seen with a few people that seem to be passing that.
Yeah,
passing that opportunity up.
I put that down, and it's probably just like the video creator where you try to put all the good stuff at the end. But I try to put all that. I've been putting all of that in like the final thoughts at the end, make them read through it. But,
yeah, and it's the old kind of presentation format. Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. So that's kind of what we do. But there's a strategic purpose here because I know a lot of the people that are in the chat today also do this. They also are content creators. And from an affiliate standpoint, if all someone wants to see is this going to be good for me, did it work out? I want to tell them right away. If in the first 2 sentences they know what they want, I can give them a link right there to go buy it. Boom, they're done. The longer I make them read, the less chance they're going to get to the link that I want them to click and buy something.
Right. And would you say this review does a good job at that paragraph?
The specific one? I don't know. They kind of
so
it seems a little long.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna request from the all wise and knowing Uncle Hefe. Give me some examples, not like tonight, of course, but give me some examples of some articles that do a good job at that so I can see, you know what I'm saying? That way I can figure it out and start incorporating it. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway,
I'm just looking at this one. The second
for a Jeep.
paragraph, my wet willy is a full Jeep cover and tailgate tent in one. That may be what I was looking for right there. And some of the other stuff could go down, somewhere else. But really just a sentence or two that just gives the executive summary. What is it? What's it for? Do we recommend it? And then if they want more detail, they got to keep reading the article. But anyhow, this one is kind of neat because as you can see in the kind of odd looking video here,
safe.
They show the Dawn of the blow up doll is under the little canopy. So you see it behind the white Jeep and then a different angle of one behind the maroon Jeep. That is in the canopy or awning configuration. If you watch the video, you'll see that they can actually alternately, they pull it forward, just flip the whole thing forward. So if the top is off, then it becomes like an overnight cover. So you're out doing your overlanding stuff and you don't want to put the top up at night, but you don't want to get up and have dew all over your seats, or maybe it gets rained on at night. When it's time to go to bed, you just flip that whole awning forward, secure it up by the windshield. Now it's covering the interior. So it's like a Jeep cover and an awning that you just flip back and forth depending on what you're doing. I guess you're in trouble if it starts raining and then you got to decide, okay, do I cover the interior or do I hide under it in the back? I don't know. But anyhow, that's it's kind of neat. I've never seen a multi-use product quite like that. I know a few people that do Jeep stuff, and all of them that have tried this have been like, oh, it's amazing. So you watch the video, decide for yourself if you think it would be sufficiently useful. All right. So we're going to move off of that one. I believe, there's one more. Dang, I thought that was the last one. Thought it was the last one.
It's a good week at Gear Report.
Oh, man. Yeah, stuff's finally rolling in now. I wanted to come back and hit one here from DJ Play Nice. Do we get to talk guitars and guitar gear?
Oh, I thought that was maracas.
We can talk about maracas or cooking spatulas with cookie dough on them or whatever that is. We'll talk about it all.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, but I actually haven't done any guitar reviews in a little while, which I should because I'm backed up. I sold a couple. I think I'm down to 28 guitars in my office right now. But I really need to get some more published. But we'll talk about that later. Let me get down here a bit, see what we missed. Oh, look at that. Live from Cancun.
Nice.
So that sounds festive. Man, be safe down there. Listen, hey, don't drink the water. The ice is safe, though, as far as you know. So, gun snob. Fun fact, I asked my accountant yesterday, we were talking, and I said, oh, by the way, all this Amazon stuff, what's the impact? And he said, what do you mean? I was like on my taxes, like let's say I spent $100, the tax value is $100. How much money do I need to put in a separate account to then pay taxes with? And he starts throwing out, he started with 15%, and then he thought about it as well, but then you add this and you add that. And then, so he said, because it counts as income, you have to pay Social Security tax on it. And I was like, it's not just the income tax, but then also the Social Security tax, and then also state tax as well. So, but he started at 15%. By the time he was done, he said, you know what, just call it 30. If you're putting 30% of the tax value in a separate account, then you should have enough to cover the taxes on those free review items at the end of the year. So boom. Oh yeah, south of what would have been the Great Wall. I hear you. No guitar crap this week, sweet. Guitar crap. He's right. Grammar, spelling, not really a strong suit for the gun stuff. I get. Hey, there's a reason he does videos, right?
Yeah.
He's got an epic fence post. or multiples. I don't want to give away any secrets here, but you know, he's got a post for video. What can I say? Take that, however, is the least weird way to take it. Okay, so the other one, I don't know if there's anyone in the audience in today's audience that's really into this kind of thing, but if you like backpacking, the big 11 days of backpacking, or 12 days, 11 nights, something like that. And we did, you know, one of the guys I hiked with, his Apple Watch or whatever he was wearing said something like 141 or 144 miles is what we did. It was supposed to be closer to like 58 or something, but we did a lot of walking on this backpacking trip, and it was to Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico. But there are a lot of things about this trip that was specific to going to Philmont Scout Ranch and the rules they have. But there's also probably even more stuff that's just generic backpacking stuff. And if you know me, you know I'm all about budget. So, you know, there's some pretty good information if you're into backpacking gear. This part 1 and part 2 of this video series are the most aggressive, ambitious video production projects I've ever done. So we talked about this when I put part 1 out, you know, hey, go check it out. Give me some feedback. None of you bastards gave me any feedback. So thank you. I appreciate that. But I do understand that this isn't really the cup of tea for most of the people who are here tonight. But anyhow, this is the biggest project I've done in that, you know, I had to plan out before going out in the field. All I had was a GoPro and some batteries and some memory cards. And there's no real easy way to replenish batteries out there without carrying battery packs. So there was a lot of budgeting, how much data on the memory cards I could use, how much shooting video and still images, how much battery power I could consume on a day-to-day basis, while having a really big agenda of a bunch of different things that I wanted to get video clips and still images of throughout this, you know, week and a half, almost 2 weeks on the trail. And then cataloging all of that and figuring out how to weave it together smoothly. It was a heck of a task. So hopefully the prior version of this I did after the 2017 trip turned into the most profitable affiliate content that we've got. So I'm hoping that happens with this one as well. But, you know, if you care to, go check out the video and leave a comment. And if you don't care to, then that's fine too. You know,
watched it.
We got plenty of other content that you probably will like. So that's work.
I watched it. I just didn't leave a comment. I had no comment. I didn't understand a word you said.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Reviews that will be published soon. We have transitioned out of recently completed reviews. We have recently completed the recently completed reviews. So now we're going to move on to reviews that will be published soon.
Nice.
So I can tell you, Clover already gave a hint as to one of them that's coming.
Oh.
And that's another Axle product. So that's in the queue. And if anyone, you know what? I'm going to give a sneak peek here because I can.
I get a sneak peek too.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hang on.
I'm okay with the sneak peek, not a sneaky peek. So just so we're clear.
Whoa.
Yeah,
there we go.
So this is me working on experimenting with a thumbnail that's partway through the editing process for a Wolfpack Armory interview where TJ interviewed TJ being mobbed by paparazzi here. You can see at a big media event.
I'm popular.
Apparently. Yeah. I think you may be Insta famous or internet famous or YouTube famous or
infamous.
Infamous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, that video is actually out on YouTube. If you want to go watch that interview, you can. The accompanying article, the container article that will have some background on the company and the specs on the AR pistol that you see TJ handling quite adroitly in this little screen capture here. And that is a still from a video, so you will see TJ in all of his lead slinging glory, just like he is right there. As soon as I get this done, probably tomorrow, I'll wrap up the thumbnail. I think that's the only thing that I have left to be able to publish that article is getting the thumbnail done.
Nice.
However, let's see. I'm looking at what's scheduled. So I think what's scheduled for tomorrow, 22nd. Yep, that's the Tracker electronic earmuffs from Clover, and that's the only thing scheduled right now. Good. And I have an article on tips to storing your guns easily, which I think is not grammatically correct. I'm gonna have to fix that. But that's how it came in. So anyhow, and I'm working on a container article for our Iraq Veteran 8888 Range Day coverage, where every video and article that we put out for that event, I'm going to link it in one article. So that one's coming. And let's see. Oh, TJ's got a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to ruin that for you guys. For anyone who cares about sailing stuff, Joe from Joyrider TV, Joe Bennett, has got a tips for going to a sailing race. It's kind of a guide if you want to enter a race, like a small, fast sailboat type race. He's got a step-by-step guide for that I've got to get edited and put up. And I also have for the guitar stuff, if I said that right, Snob, I've got a guy, his name is Ty, that if everyone, show of hands if you know who BB King is. Have you heard of BB King? Of course, I can't see the screen now to see
Clover raised his hand too.
Clover raised his hand. I thought he did. Yeah. Ty did a really super cool project where he took a Chinese knockoff of the BB King guitar, like the generic stock version, and did all the upgrades to make it just like BB King's guitar, his Lucille famous guitar. And so he documented that to share with us. That one will be published as soon as I get the editing done. I mean, we're in a great position that I've got a bunch of stuff in the queue that's just waiting on me to get to it. So that's pretty cool.
I'm going to send some stuff to the queue too here shortly.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm working on another one, and then I've got tons of things. I'm hoping my streak holds. So
I got you. All right.
What do we got? The Raging Hunter and 454. I finally got the ammo. It showed up.
Nice.
So I'm going to finish that out this weekend. And then I've got, hold on, I'm going to Clover like this.
But will I?
You will.
Do you need the screen bigger?
I'm getting it. I got you.
Oh, you're sharing the screen. Okay, I got you.
Yep.
Let me get rid of the
there it is.
Overlay.
I'm picking this up Saturday.
Oh.
So getting that Saturday. It comes out in 31 days.
So how are you getting it Saturday?
They sent me one. And it's at Frogbones right now. Crazy.
Once again. This is like the second time. So are they giving you enough respect yet? Like, have they seen how does he
I sit up there at Diamondback at the front door when they open up, and I'm like, hey, what's going on, guys? What do you got going on? And they're like, damn it, just give him something.
Yeah.
So it's pretty sick. It's got the 22 long rifle, 9-shot 22 long rifle, and then it's got the extra cylinder for the 22 Win Mag.
Oh, that's a 9-shot. That is kind of cool. I'll be honest with you. I'm not really a huge like 22 revolver kind of guy. Like the Barkeep, I was like, I don't know. But this sounds kind of cool.
It was neat, and it's old school. It's when I got the Raging Hunter, I was like, revolvers, and now I'm like, I really like the revolvers. So I got that coming up. I'm picking that up Saturday, and then I'll finish up the Raging Hunter. I got the Blue Coolers, the 1 year in review. That's coming up. I've had that thing a year.
Yep.
It's still hanging in there, man.
Good.
It's doing
That's
good.
awesome.
And then a bunch of little stuff, as you can see in the queue.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So we got a bunch of new cool stuff coming. You know what? I'm going to give you another preview. I'm going to go to an Amazon tab here and show you something that I'll be reviewing here at some point. For DJ Play Nice, who asked about guitar stuff, this is a little hybrid tube amp that I picked up. Very budget, and it had a little coupon on it that brought it down to like under $120 if I remember right. And it sounds friggin' awesome, and it's like a little baby. It's smaller than a lunchbox, but it sounds huge, and it's got some really cool stuff like an effects loop and headphone out, and it drives. I've got some 4x12 Marshall half stack in my office, which, you know, who doesn't? Because that's like the kind of speakers that you would have on a stage at a concert, not typically what you'd have in an office, but that's the way we roll here at Gear Report. And it drives that pretty well. So, and it's got Bluetooth, so you can play backing track type stuff while you're playing. So pretty cool. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. And you will get all the details when that review drops, whenever I get around to writing it. Okay, so that was reviews that will be published soon. And there may be more, but that's all we're going to talk about right now. We're going to move on to the highlight of the show, what everyone comes here for.
We should start with this.
Shooting.
I don't know why we don't start with this.
We probably should. Will that work with my ukulele? So in
Jeff hasn't figured out, Snob. Listen.
Yeah.
Tell him, Jeff.
You know what? I'm not going to tell him. I'm going to show him. You guys go ahead. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to find the product to show him.
You asked for it, Snob. You're going to have an electric ukulele.
Yep. And Mystic can just deal with it because it's not my problem. You know?
Right. Yep. Yeah. I mean, worst comes to worst. I mean, she'll just, put a license plate cover on your license plate when you're not.
Wait, what are you talking about? A license plate?
Yeah. Just one of the surrounds. You'll be all right.
Yeah. I wonder what it would say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just get straight to it, will you?
So bad.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. The sidekick though.
Something about maybe you could say something like, you can always learn to pick a ukulele, but I can't learn to pick my gender or something like that.
Yeah, there you go, Jeff. That's you.
That was going so far off the rail.
Jeff. Watch out.
Watch out what?
Right there. Mystic's she's listening.
I don't
talking about you? Not really. It was more talking about Snob. You were mentioned kind of tangentially.
You don't really pick a ukulele though, right?
As far as you know. Yeah.
I still haven't figured it out, Clover.
It's more of like a strum type.
I demolish that thing like every I strum it and then it's out of tune, and I strum it and it's out of tune. I'm like, all right.
We have video that shows
super high quality.
And Snob both really kind of in the zone. I don't know if it's really fair to call it an ukulele duet, but it certainly wouldn't be fair to say it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Or like a cat being thrown through a wood chipper or something like that. I'm thinking it was bad.
Were you waiting for me to argue with you?
No, I know you weren't arguing with me. You were trying to be nice about it. I'm just telling you how it was.
It did, but in all seriousness, you guys picked it up and did really well.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I still mess around with it. Figuring it out.
I should. I've been messing with the guitars. I've actually done pretty good. Oh, dude. Like I've done really well and haven't bought any guitars in a while. Like at least a week, probably.
And then you found
more.
One.
It may have been 2 weeks since I bought one. And then today I'm checking a company that I've been buying some stuff from, Firefly Guitars. Their stuff, basically, it's like Chinese knockoffs that are pretty good and cost like half or a third or a quarter of their comparable, bigger brands. And so I'll buy them and do a review. And then when I'm done, I'll sell them and usually make a little money on them. And so I've been doing that, and I've been waiting. They've got acoustics, and I don't really do acoustics, but they have one that has a bevel on it that makes it more comfortable, how it sits up against your body. So I've been wanting to get one if the price is right. So I'm checking every morning because they said the ship showed up. It's been unloaded. It's waiting at the port in California for them to take it to the warehouse so they can open it and start selling them. And it was supposed to be done a week and a half ago.
So when you say it has a bevel, is it so it's not like a round back?
Correct. I don't know if the backside has like a belly cut, but up under your arm, where your arm would rest on the top of the acoustic guitar, it has a bevel so that it's not sitting on a 90-degree angle edge. And I'm kind of excited to try that.
I kind of want to see it now.
Yeah. So I'm checking this morning, and I see that they got a brand new shipment of the Les Paul type electric guitars in, and they have a really cool version that it's all matte black with some red highlights, red stuff on it, and it looks incredibly cool. And they only had like 10 or 15 of them in the first batch like a month ago. So now when this batch popped up, and I'm like, oh crap, I have to buy one because they sold out so quickly. That means that I can review it real quick and then put it on eBay and probably make $100-$150 on it pretty quick.
Nice.
So I bought a guitar today, even though I didn't want to buy a guitar today. At least not that one.
You invested. I look at it. You invested money today.
I did. So Snob, this is what you do. You go on Vine and you get this. It's an acoustic guitar pickup contact microphone piezo transducer. Mm-hmm. So short version, you drill a little hole, you tuck those 3 little pickup pieces in through and stick them in places inside your ukulele.
Electric ukulele.
And then tighten the nut down on that plug coming through the hole. Now you can plug your ukulele into you can plug it into that little amp, but that little amp doesn't have a speaker. You got to have a speaker cabinet to go out to. So
I'm sure there's some on Vine.
I haven't seen any yet.
Really?
Well, I take that back. I have, but they're incredibly terrible.
It's already out there, Mystic. Sorry. He gave me the idea. It's there.
My tuner broke. Oh, good news. Mystic, plug your ears for a second, please. Okay, good. You can get a tuner app for your phone, so you don't even have to have a tuner.
Yep.
Okay, someone tell her she can listen again now.
I use one called Guitar Tuna.
Oh yeah,
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. Pretty bad now. Well, I bet B&N it's okay. That was pretty accurate, TJ. Yeah, but TJ is usually accurate. Usually,
I try.
Don't burn his ukulele. He is going to serenade you. See, what you don't understand, he put in hours of practice at that event, and you could see the twinkle in his eye. He's working up to be able to sing love songs. That's what this is all about. So you ease up on him. I know it's his ideas. I'm not giving him ideas. He's a grown man. He can think for himself, so far as we know. Okay, whatever. Dang it, Jeff. Now, listen, you're not my wife. You don't get to say that. My wife says that kind of stuff. Oh, strumming the ukulele. You know what? I kind of feel like I should have practiced the ukulele so that I could do a little bit of we would get a little concert going during the show, but I didn't.
Whoa!
I heard something. Oh well, how's it doing that?
There you go.
All right. I'm gonna get the big.
There you go, Mystic.
Does it work on your voice too? I suppose it could. You know, if I don't know, you gotta be good enough to for that to do. All right, I'm not even gonna plug this one in. I'm just gonna play something for you. What should I play? Oh, this is out of tune. Oh, that's right. I changed that to a different tuning. I can't.
Well, I was trying to challenge everybody, but I guess the mic's not picking up good enough.
Oh, we could hear you.
That sounded good. Way better than what I was doing.
I mean, you're supposed to. It's. I can only do so much. You have to play as well, right?
I was trying. It was horrible, but I was trying.
Oh,
Come on.
okay. I switched.
No, Jeff's got it. Jeff's got it
There
now.
we go.
Dude. The
Oh,
banjo on Vine. There were two of them. I tried to get both of them. I don't know if it was just my Vine that was messed up or if it was Vine in general it was messed up, but it wouldn't let me get either one of them. It kept bombing. Every time I tried to request it, something would go wrong.
everybody under the sun wanted the banjo.
Oh my God. Now they have, what's it called? A banjolele, I think. It's like a ukulele with a banjo face on it.
That's awesome.
If it's still there, it may show up at TJ's house pretty soon.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Or at mine. I don't know. I haven't actually decided. I did pretty much decide against it.
Yeah, it's going to me. You don't want it. I know.
I have too many other stringed instruments already, but I was like, ooh, there's a band. Because I'm like, I don't want to go buy a banjo, but if they're going to make it available,
right?
I'm only going to be in it. I'm only going to be in it for like $20. I'm like, heck yeah. I think that'd be kind of cool. I can learn how to play that stuff so I can take it on camping trips and just mess with people.
Oh, yeah. Like I hear banjos. Oh, crap. Run!
Yep. Oh, I don't see the banjolele up here now. I was going to show it to you guys, but I don't see it. No. Oh, that's depressing.
Oh, boo.
All right. Anyhow, I was going to play something on another guitar. I forgot it's in a different tuning, so I can't. Oh. That didn't work. I'm falling apart here.
Yeah. Nice.
If I do any more, I'll get like a copyright violation.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I completely fell apart on about 5 different chord changes there. But hey, we're getting there.
Yep. But I have no idea what you're talking about, so.
Yeah.
I'm just strumming my ukulele.
So it wasn't just me.
Nope.
Oh, the gun snob's being called out again. All right. I have a link and a ukulele.
I think Gary's going to be getting a ukulele soon.
Well, he should. Just here, want one, and you will commit to come on and do a performance for us. Let me know. I will send you an ukulele.
You will get an ukulele. Everybody gets an ukulele. Mystic needs an ukulele.
Yeah, fight fire with fire. Come on.
Yeah, who's better?
Put your big girl panties on.
Let's go.
Up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I seen I watch a lot of music stuff on YouTube anyway, but there was YouTube's so wonderful about just throwing stuff on your feed. That's awesome. But there's some chick that basically it looks like she lives in a travel trailer because it looks like a pop out or whatever, section behind her. But she just stands there in her travel trailer and picks the banjo on her video. She's pretty good.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary, you get a free ukulele. It's awesome. That's a good deal.
Dude, I'm telling you, there are ukuleles galore on Vine. Oh, it's crazy. I'm going to show you guys because
Taylor stole my other one, but I've got another one. So my princess stole it.
Yeah,
she's pretty good.
All right, where is it?
She put me to shame. She was playing it. I was like, all right, just take that thing. I'll get a different one.
Okay, yeah, here it is. So they have banjo chord charts. See, this is another thing I was excited about. I was like, not only do they have banjos, multiple banjos available in Vine, they actually have like instructions on how to play them. but then they went away. But look at all the ukuleles here.
Oh yeah,
There's tons of them. There's a carbon fiber. Look at that. A carbon fiber ukulele.
Who needs that?
Oh, and this one's got fancy holes on it and one on the side. And that one's all shiny. Look at the wood grain on that. Oh, my goodness. Oh, a 26-inch ukulele?
Ooh.
That's approaching small guitar size. It's not there. It's approaching there. But, you know. Oh, and it's solid mahogany. Dang. I'm going to be strong and not get this.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
That'd be the thing now. Every event we go to, all right, it's ukulele hour. Like, oh shit, here we go.
I got video to prove it. It was worthwhile.
So, have you seen like the folding guitars? Have you seen those?
Folding?
Yeah, they have folding guitars now. Remember the company that makes them? And I thought, man, for like traveling, like and taking something, because a guitar just takes up way too much room, especially if you've got a smaller car or you have to fly, right? But there's a literal folding guitar that's out there on the market that it all folds up and it doesn't take up that much room. I'm like, that would be kind of neat.
So, all right, I'm going to show you two things here.
Sorry, OB. It might be every event
that
we can carry the ukuleles to.
Not have stuff falling over. All right,
Jeff will bring a guitar because he's above ukuleles.
This is kind of a full size. It's actually kind of big, almost as thick as a acoustic. So that's for comparison.
Is that a hollow body?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. And then this is my travel guitar. It's a headless, and it's got the little cutouts and everything. And it is little, but the problem, although it's light and it's compact, and it's really just the right size for travel, it's too expensive. Like I don't want to travel with this one because it. You go buy this new, it's like $1,600. Like I'm not gonna.
You just don't come up to the 10 OB. You'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, I love it. It's one of my favorites to play, but it's like too much. Oh, jeez. Okay.
What's in Tulsa? What do we got going on in Tulsa? What's the next event? What do we got?
Tulsa. Wanamaker Tulsa Arms Show, November 13th and 14th.
Oh, I should go to that.
Yeah. Largest gun show in the world.
My flights are so cheap out of Atlanta. I could almost go, or out of Orlando, I can go almost anywhere.
Well,
like $100.
I've got media passes. I probably got a media pass. You can do Gear Report stuff there.
Oh, there we go, Jeff.
Spend Saturday. This is sort of what I recommend. Spend Saturday just taking in the show and looking at stuff, because even if you spent both days, you could only spend like 15 seconds per table, right?
Is that many?
Yeah, 4,500 or some odd tables.
Oh,
yeah.
Geez.
So spend like Saturday kind of booking some things and whatever, and then Sunday, especially before lunch, right? Go in and try to knock out any interviews or anything you want to do. Of course, you can take pictures. You can take pictures and do B-roll and stuff like that on Saturday. It looks better because it's fuller, right? Yeah.
I think I'm in, Jeff.
Are you?
As cheap as I flew to Houston, it'd be ridiculous for me not to go.
There would be plenty of people there, so getting a ride, you wouldn't have to Uber or anything.
Bring my ukulele.
Sure.
That'd be awesome.
You'll be the new version of the Singing Cowboy, right?
Right. I have it strapped over my shoulder with my pink ukulele strap, and people will be like, "Oh, he's famous."
Nice.
They'll say, "Hey, look at that! It's Chris Chang."
But like 2 foot taller.
Yeah. That may have backfired. Wow. Well.
Yep. Sorry, Mystic. I'm heading out there.
Yeah.
Ukulele time.
Well, all right. Well, that was fun. So we'll have to distribute some more ukuleles and
Yes, everybody should have one. It's been missing one.
Roaming through.
But we need them all to be Gear Report logoed ukuleles.
Oh, yes,
we should probably make that happen.
I'll work on the BlackRock branding. See what they can do.
Too bad that doesn't even work. What are you talking about? You got to tie it at one end. It only clips on the bottom. You got to use the little string to tie it around the headstock on the other end.
How many frets are on the ukulele? I don't remember. Is there enough to put Gear Report across there?
It's all of them, man.
Yeah. Good memento.
Could you put like a letter for every fret? No, there's not. Well, there might be. There might be. It'd be close. Be close.
So since you brought up the branding stuff,
oh geez,
I completely forgot all of the stuff that I learned about this before. But since you brought up the branding stuff, I need more stickers. So your buddy that made stickers before, if he wants to make some more, I'd like to get some more stickers.
Really? Well, I might can work that out.
Yeah. So just let me know what it'll cost, and I'll get some. I don't know how many. I probably should get a couple hundred, I guess.
Stickers. Whoa.
I'll hit him up.
Something that I can give to people to show appreciation and whatnot. Because I'm all about
You don't have any patches left? Are they all gone?
Oh no, he's got patches still.
I got patches. I'll die with some of those patches.
He doesn't give them out. You've got to be somebody to get a patch.
I really should give more of those patches.
You should if nothing else, you should trade them and have a patch wall behind you.
I know that there are people who have patches that will be offended to hear this, but patches don't do anything for me.
Yeah, I thought that at one time too.
You thought that patches didn't do anything for me?
I would get stickers and I was put them on my safes and do things, and I wasn't really big into patches, but I've gotten multiple patch panels at this point. So I got converted. It can happen.
Ooh,
especially if you ever get any rare stuff, especially if you pick any up at SHOT Show and then you get home and they're going for $75, $100, $150 on eBay. You'll start getting into patches.
Oh,
sold.
There you go. Look at DJ.
Yeah. Do you have the sexy Wendy patch?
I thought it was a slutty Wendy, but yeah, mine's behind me.
Right there.
Yep.
Have you got the We1 tactical skulls?
That might be in my gun safe.
But
like
you have them?
My whole gun safe, the door is all Velcro, so it's packed full of patches. I'm waiting for G-Webs to get the Florida patch panel back in because for some reason I have an Indiana patch panel and I'm in Florida, so that's the only one he had in stock at one time.
Is it Indiana or is it just a rectangle?
No, it's Indiana.
Oh.
That's what it was. It was on sale, and I was like, whatever, I'll get it. Why not? So, but the whole inside of my gun safe is just it's pretty much almost full of patches right now.
Nice.
Yeah, it's neat. What are we talking about?
It's hard to say. I saw your name came up in there, but I moved on past it. That sounded a little personal.
Well, yeah, we've got you got Tulsa, and then we've got it's moving into talking about Gear Report, talking about creator stuff. We're moving into that season, right?
Yeah.
Black Friday and Christmas and a lot of stuff. So I got a few things hopefully in the works for that. And then anybody heard anything about SHOT Show since SIG said they're out?
So have you signed up? Got your ticket already?
You talking about to get
SHOT
into SHOT Show? Yeah, I got my pass. Yeah, I hadn't made any plans, but yeah.
Okay, good. That's what I was going to ask. You got your pass? Have you booked a ticket or a room or anything?
Well, we're going to drive.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. But yeah, as far as the room, I have looked at pricing and some different options, but I haven't committed to anything. But I probably will in the next couple of weeks because it'll be refundable, like right up. Like I'll get the $8 travel insurance or whatever the heck it is, and I won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, like I haven't even looked at it because I mean TJ will tell you it's an ordeal when I try to book travel because I don't want to spend any money, but I want to have cool.
Unless I just book something and then you're screwed.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this. I got on to, and I did this a while back too. I got into Airbnb and Verbo, and geez, like houses and it's insane the prices. And I'm talking about for like 3 beds or something, you know, not big, huge houses.
They're going through the roof, you mean?
The prices are crazy. Yeah. And the only thing I can figure is with the downturn because of the cough, right? People couldn't afford their mortgage payments. They had to sell them, or the bank owns them now, or right? Because most of the people that do Airbnb, they have extra houses that they rent out, right, to make the payment on the house. A lot of people do that. And I figure, they lost them, right? Nobody could travel. Nobody could do anything for a whole year plus. And so maybe that's what caused it. It was crazy. But, yeah, I got an email from NSSF today or yesterday. It's been in the last couple of days. And I did send Justin with NSSF. I sent him a message trying to get him on a podcast, see if he'd talk about some stuff. But they're pretty gung-ho. Of course, they were last year too, right?
Yeah, so, right up to the point that they said, never mind.
Yeah. Well, for them, it's an insurance game. It's a game of chicken.
Yep.
Right? So if they cancel first or, they're not basically forced out of it, then they lose more money. But I'll tell you this.
We'll be staying at the Venetian, Jeff. Don't worry about it. We'll be all right.
NSSF, I worry. I've talked about it before, but I don't know if I've talked about it on this show, but I worry about the NSSF if SHOT doesn't happen for the second year in a row. That's so much of their income and their budget and everything. They've already scaled back in so many areas and stuff. And until they're gone, people aren't going to realize the sad truth of it is most people don't know what NSSF even is. And the vast majority of the people that have heard the letters, right, may think SHOT Show, but they don't really get everything else that it entails, right? And so, what's the industry? What's the 2A sentiment? Everything else? What's that going to look like without an NSSF, right? And it's that I don't know. That worries me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, I kind of hope it happens. Like I said, I love going out there. I love the the hustle and bustle. Yeah. We've got it figured out now. Not like when I first started, it was
right.
It was a nightmare. Jeff wrangling him to every appointment, 20 minutes per appointment from one end to the other. Now it's it's more casual. Wander around. We got the pop-up shows, and then but now we're at another section at a different venue, so it's we get a little bit more walking to do. So
right.
We're looking at that. I was like, oh, so now we get to go over there. Awesome.
Yeah.
I have to buy a new pair of shoes. I go through a pair of shoes every SHOT Show.
Well, I agree with Snob on that. He says if any more big companies drop out there, it's done. I agree and I disagree. If they drop out, that's one thing. If they do like SIG and they drop out, but they dump a bunch of money to NSSF,
right?
Then maybe not.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, he said if they drop the shows, if they drop out, it's done. I interpreted that as SHOT Show is done, not the NSSF is done. But I think there's a real distinction there. That
that's what I'm talking about. No, I'm talking about SHOT Show. I think as long as the companies are donating to the NSF and dumping money to the NSF, they'll still do it. I don't think NSF cares if they lose Smith & Wesson, HK, Glock, I don't think they care. And there's more than enough smaller companies that are more than willing to step up and take space and do other things, I think. It's just are you looking at it from a big company perspective or a small company perspective, right? And so I could do without any of the big names being there.
I think you have to look at it as an event perspective, where if you lose a couple, it's like if you lose a couple vendors, it's like, whatever, we still got the main process, and then all these other vendors here,
Mhm.
You look at the big picture, like if everybody starts dropping out and you're going to end up just hemorrhaging money and time and pissing people off, then you got to cancel it. But if it's just a couple vendors, then you're like, whatever, just a couple vendors,
Well, but are you
somebody else can take the
again?
tables.
Are you losing money if they
Right.
not only drop out, but they drop out and write you a big fat check in the process?
Right. Well, they're not losing money at that point.
Right.
Well, they're not losing that money, but I mean, at some point you'll hit critical mass of some of the draws, some of the brands that people were going to talk to and meet with and see.
Which are the big brands for the most part.
Yeah.
Right. We are, as media, we tend to gravitate more to the unknown, finding new companies, that type of thing, right? I think most media is, unless you're a big, huge shill, of course, there's a place for that too. You want to go and meet with those big companies. But for the most part, most creators that go, I think they enjoy the smaller stuff. The problem is, what sells the most? Well, obviously the big dogs, right? The SIGs, the Smith & Wessons, the Glocks. And if you own a distributorship or a gun shop, what do you sell the most of, right? That you need FaceTime with those companies to make your deals. Well, that's SIG and Glock and whoever, right? So, if you look in terms of the show in general, I think, losing very many of the big ones, regardless, is going to be problematic. But we're in the same situation as we were last year in a way that Vegas is chomping at the bits to have it. Vegas doesn't want to lose it either.
Right.
So, but now we've got, for better or for worse, or whatever, however you want to, I don't want to jump down the rabbit hole of it, but vaccines, right? We've got that whole idea around that, that's going on and everything else. So it's a little bit, the climate's a little bit different. We've also got a lot of pushback across the country on things right now. So I know that there's a lot of this vaccine mandate stuff, and a lot of businesses or industries or career paths or whatever come the first part of December. They had like 90 days. And I think that's going to kind of determine. I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't determine the course of SHOT Show, right? In other words, if they get their way and they back off all of that crap, then it might actually happen. It might show that enough people has woken up that they're not going to push those buttons anymore. But I'm afraid, by the same token, I'm afraid that they pushed buttons before and they got results. So why would they stop trying?
Right. A lot of it depends on, I guess it depends on who they're, who's requiring the vaccines, what companies are requiring the vaccines, and stuff like that. If the Teamsters are requiring the vaccines for people to work and half of them don't want to do it, then they're not going to have the staff to function well and unload everything and load everything. Whereas if they had it in Orlando, we don't have a problem down here,
right? Or Houston or San Antonio or
wherever. Some of the bigger cities that are free. Come on down.
You said Houston. Isn't Houston where the NRA had to cancel?
They didn't have to, but
they did.
Well,
that's why Primary Arms had their event. It was fine.
Yeah.
So I said they didn't have to. The state of Texas, as far as the state of Texas goes, was, they were all for that and waiting for it to happen. I think there's a few reasons. I don't want to get down that rabbit hole for sure, but I think there's a few reasons the NRA canceled, and very few of them actually had to do with COVID. I think the SIG dropping out, that doesn't make any sense to me. So their first reason they cited was, we care about our employees, blah, blah, blah. Well, if that's true, 3 weeks ago, you were at 3 separate events across the country. So that don't make any sense. And granted, the vast majority of the public don't know that, right? But I do. So that don't make any sense. And then they start getting into this money thing. Well, it's the money for our booth and blah, 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 and all this, right? But then in the same breath, in that press release, they said they were going to give $500,000 to the NSSF. So it's like, well, wait a minute. You don't have the money, but you're going to give money to the NSSF
Well, I think that tells you, because they said their range day and the SHOT Show and everything they do at SHOT Show. You add all that up, they were probably spending $1.5 million.
Oh yeah, a couple
more.
million.
Oh, and then some, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to get away with, all told, 500,000 plus. I'm sure there's some additional, call it $600,000. They've saved almost $1 million probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
By canceling. And because they're big, they're overrun with government contracts right now.
Right.
That's true.
They can afford.
They don't need to be there.
A year. They probably don't want to skip multiple years, but their head of finance was probably looking at this going, wait a second.
Yeah.
Let's do this as a donation and maybe get some tax benefit out of it.
Well,
and
so perspective, right? You have to, and Jeff, you've gone to SHOT Show for many years, and there, this will be my fourth time. I don't know, fifth time. But there are all kinds of companies that don't go to SHOT all the time. I mean, so, I get the climate and I get how everything looks and I get the optics, but just because of a company, now don't get me wrong, if other dominoes start to fall, that's a different situation. And even if SIG's reasoning is not that is done in such a way that they really don't want to tank the show, it really is a corporate decision they're trying to make for their their own purposes. How does the optics look, and does that cause other dominoes to fall, right? But just on the surface, a company not going to SHOT Show is not a huge deal. Smith & Wesson, the last 2 years at range day hasn't been doing range day, and Smith & Wesson's not having any issues, right? So I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
If you're the first one that pulls out, like SIG, the first big brand, I think the optics aren't that bad. Now, if you're the one that kind of if you're the straw that breaks the camel's back,
right.
Like if you become the scapegoat, then that could be bad optics. But SIG, how many times have we said SIG on this broadcast? We probably wouldn't have mentioned them if it weren't for this. They're getting a shit ton of publicity out of this.
True. This is true. Like they need it. I mean, you mentioned that earlier with the stuff they've got going, but yeah, I agree.
Yep. All right. Let's get back to comments. Oh, this is still the last comment. I highly encourage someone out there to leave another comment so we aren't stuck with this one.
Just so he knows, I've got my American flag Speedo ready.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Nice.
I've seen pictures. Fortunately, I've never had to experience that firsthand, but I unfortunately have seen pictures.
The people at the cruise were like, I want to say kind of excited, but kind of disturbed at the same time.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of screams and there are a lot of screeches at the same time, but whatever.
As long as there's a balance.
It was fun. We took over the whole adult section of the cruise ship, so it was it. I took over, told everybody else to get out. Yes.
So I don't know that I've published it yet. I've got a video of the two of you guys doing your ukulele concert.
You haven't published it. You haven't seen it.
Right. And so here's something else that y'all can look forward to is I've got, I think, 4 weeks of shorts scheduled on in YouTube, and 4 weeks of I've got 2 types scheduled so far. And when I get like 4 weeks, I think that I'm going to shift and do some for something else now. So for each week I have a gun one and a guitar 360. So I've got I think 4, maybe 5 weeks scheduled with one of each. So we'll have like Monday is the guitar 360 and Tuesday is the gun short.
Nice.
Or excuse me, Monday is the gun short. Tuesday is the guitar 360 for up through November 22nd and 23rd. So we're booked out pretty good there.
Now I'm going to send you some shorts from that the Sidekick too. So just so you know. I'm picking that up Saturday.
You said you had a bunch of shorts. You hadn't pushed anything up there yet. So let me know when you want to put them up. You can upload them.
I always want to do it. And then I see something. Oh, Jeff's got a short up on it. So.
Well, but you don't have to publish it. You can push them up there and then save them, and then I'll go in and schedule it.
All right.
Just tell me when you're ready. I'll go in and
I'm still learning too, Clover.
I did do what?
I'm still learning.
No, shorts is one of them things that still, it baffles me a little bit. I'm not in the special shorts programs like you guys are, but I did some testing last night. No, night before last. No, last night. So I had one that was produced on the computer. It was done like I normally do it. And I released it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do one on the app. Right? So I did. And it was like 36 seconds, the one I did on the computer. And it was using the YouTube audio library music. So anyway, I turned around and did one on the app. It was 15 seconds, used the Leonard Skinner song. It was horrible quality. There was no editing options on the app. It freaking sucks, in my opinion, right? But, I mean, I don't watch that stuff, so maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's brilliant to the people that watch it. But anyway, that sucker took off for like 12 hours or something, and it drug every one of my other shorts with it. Every one of my other shorts for the time frame that was spiking, which was like, it's like 800 views worth of spikes, or worth of spike. All it drug. Now it didn't get 800 views necessarily on all the other, but you can see the spike in the analytics. You know what I mean? On all of my other shorts, when that one hit, it was strange. And the only difference is it sucked, in my opinion, and it was done on the app.
Mm-hmm.
And it had Leonard Skinner music.
That's the key. That was the key right there.
Leonard Skinner.
Probably.
So I asked the shorts, whatever it was, a community manager. Is that what her title is? The one at Google.
Stranger lady
for that program. Community partner manager. That's what her title is. I asked her, I said, quick question that's baffled me. I said, will Shorts videos created with music from the YouTube app be eligible for the monthly Shorts Fund payouts? Because they're saying you don't get your normal ad revenue type stuff on Shorts. Like you can, there are some catch-22 things where you slip through and you can, but generally, because when I used the Shorts music library, it said videos created with music from within the YouTube app cannot be monetized.
Correct. Yeah.
And what she said is confirming you can use music within the YouTube app to be eligible on the Shorts Fund. Mm-hmm. She says, I understand the language is confusing around cannot be monetized, but confirming this does not impact eligibility for the fund, so you can disregard.
Yeah, they don't consider the fund monetization. That's what they're telling you. Right?
Yeah, for this purpose at least.
But here's what's crazy is you create it through the app and you can get by with that. But if you create it on the desktop, you put Leonard Skinner, you're going to get a copyright claim.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Just weird.
All right. I'm going to share. Is that on a tab? I think it was on a tab. Here we go. I'm going to share. This was the first YouTube, whatever they call it, Shorts community thing that I went to. It was a Google Hangouts meeting thing. So the funny thing is, I'm looking at all the people that are in here, like looking to see, is there anyone I recognize? Not a damn person. I don't know any of them. But that doesn't mean anything because there are some guitar channels I watch. Right now, the only things I'm watching there are a couple scientists and a couple physicians that do, they review the latest research into COVID stuff and cover it in what appears to me to be a pretty scientifically valid and politically impartial, like they ignore the politics of it. I'll watch them. I watch some guitar teachers and some guitar reviewers. And aside from that, I don't really watch anything on YouTube. So there could be like a superstar right beside me in this picture, and I wouldn't know who they were.
Right. Yeah.
I don't recognize them.
I recognize.
I watch a ton of YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. But I mean, let's be honest. Most of the ones that are going to be in this thing are going to be smaller channels, and I don't mean smaller like 500 subs, but smaller as in likely under 100,000 for sure. And so I would recognize. I know some of the things I've been in. I've recognized a few people, not from their channels because I follow their content, but just in other avenues of education on YouTube and creator meetings and things like that. I've met them, so I recognize their screen name or their name or whatever that might be more than anything. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's so and so.
Right. Yeah. So anyhow, I thought that was kind of neat. The first experience I've had being in one of those. Oh, Gun Snob's in there too, huh?
Yep.
All right, let's see. So the Shorts partner meeting I went to, she said they're actively working on getting Shorts monetized for everyone in the near future, including ones that use the music library, not using the fund. Okay, interesting. I didn't hear that. Do you have the same, Snob? Do you have the same? We probably have the same manager person. The
I believe it is
or something.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Did they invite you yet, Clover?
No, I haven't. They are, but she's probably over a team. She probably has a team of at least 10 and more than likely way more than that at her disposal.
Really? Okay, she didn't mention anything about anyone else. I know there are 3 people that she references. Maybe they're just the team leads.
Well, and she may work. Yeah. She just may work closely with a couple of different teams, right? They're not her teams, but she works with those teams. She almost has to work with like Shorts development teams. You know what I mean? And those type of people for sure. And you're talking about hundreds, maybe even thousands of employees at that point.
Yeah. So, was yours a cluster also? Mine was pretty good because Snob must have done the first one because they had one, and then a couple days later they had another. I did the second one, and I bet she learned on the first one just mute everyone because everyone was muted by default. You had to, like, the problem we had was people couldn't figure out how to unmute themselves, and she'd say, "Okay, you were automatically muted because we got so many people in here." And some of them, it's like, you broadcast for a living, like you're here because you've had some success with this and you can't figure out how to unmute yourself. Really?
Yeah.
But
welcome to the world of creators. The vast majority of people flip their phone on, their computer on, their camera on, they upload it to YouTube. They have no clue how things actually work.
Yeah. All right. Now, I'm not going to suggest, Snob, that we coordinate on the next one and go to the same one so that we can tag team and harass people.
I would.
But
I'm not going to suggest it. That's all I'm saying.
I would. And figure out how to do your questions where one of you asks one and then the other one, depending on how the answer is, right, the other person asks a follow-up, right, an appropriate follow-up for that, and just do that 1-2 punch the entire meeting.
Well, like this is the first time I've been in a program like this, so I don't want to get kicked out just yet. Especially if it deal. Wait a second.
Right.
We can both go to the same one though. That'd be fine. And then it could be nice though if we see, this could be an opportunity to try to manipulate the system a little bit to get a little bit more attention.
Well, at least you get an inside. Yeah, you get an inside track. You're going to have to do, we talked about it privately, Jeff. There's some other things you need to do, like joining up on the YouTube community and a couple other things. But yeah, participation in this by you guys can and will, because I've been doing programs like this. I can say that without talking about the specifics of them for, a year and a half now, something like that. So, I've been in all kinds of meetings like that. Now, the difference is a lot of my meetings are like closed door meetings, and we signed NDAs. You said you didn't have to sign an NDA for these. So that's kind of cool, but you will get invited into all kind of other things, or I could see that happening. And that's when you really start learning and yeah, you can definitely use what you learn to help yourself, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. But I was also thinking that, like,
it
if
gets
we know
frustrating.
people,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, even just within the thing there were people in the comments. I got a kick out of like almost all the comments up until the questions started were people promoting their channels.
Yeah.
Hey, go check this out.
They're
Please go
used to
check
that.
out my channel. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny if we kind of coordinated where, Snob asks something, and then, like you said, with the follow up, but then where we get to mention each other's channels. Well, like the Gun Snob said, or, like Rogue Banshee said,
Well,
or I'd like to build on what
that-
the Rogue Banshee said a
yeah.
few minutes ago. And
that
really
happens. So that happens a lot in the overall creator sphere.
Mhm.
If you ever branch out, you ever get into some of these workshops and other things, sadly, the vast majority of people are not there to learn. They're there to spam and try to get sub for sub and promote their own crap, right? That's why they're there. They think, oh, I'm here and I can gain a bunch of subs from being in here. And that's not, hey, I'm here and I can learn, right? But what I was saying earlier about, learning, I mean, absorb what you can, and you can apply that to your own channel and do some pretty cool things, and certainly alleviate some of the frustration and stress. The problem where the stress and the frustration comes in is when you go to these things like you and Snob went to, and then you sit down and you had to try to have a conversation with somebody else that didn't go to that didn't learn all that stuff, that wasn't in the room, and they're trying to tell you that you're wrong, that you didn't hear what you heard, or that YouTube creator, helper, manager person don't know what they're talking about. And that's when the frustration starts to come back in, unfortunately. So to alleviate that, focus more on your own channel and yourself than you do helping others. That's would be my answer to that question. Or my answer to that problem, I should say. It wasn't a question.
So, yeah, and at the end of the day, the real thing with shorts, to kind of circle back and close up that topic, I think, in my mind, is, are we actually going to get anything out of the fund? And if we do, because honestly, looking at subs and stuff, I don't know, since I do long form content, since we all do long form content, we're not like, I feel like the difference between a lot of is this where the cool people hang out?
Not even remotely.
I hope they show up soon. We've been waiting a while. So I think a lot of people are they're doing shorts, and Google's pushing it, or YouTube rather is pushing it to compete with some of the trash, in my opinion, on the internet. The stupid, like, if you look at their materials that they send out, they're giving you 3 songs each week that they want you to target and build content around. And it's all around like taking a lyric and doing some funny dance kind of lip sync thing using that lyric and the song in the background. And I'm like, this is the stuff that was driving TikTok 3 years ago that made me look at my kids like, what the hell's wrong with you getting in and watching hours of this? Like, this is I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a cesspool.
So,
but it's a complete waste of time and effort and energy, and there's no value.
Yeah, there's definitely no value, but I think there's no value to you. Okay. But here's where I think they're going with it. First of all, they have the money, the finances, the resources, the infrastructure. They have everything they need to pull it off at minimal, right? At minimal effort. Let's be honest about that, right? So if you have all of that at your disposal, and you see that there's all of these people, mostly, large majority younger people that are doing that, then could that be a TikTok-ish thing, kind of like that's what shorts is. Make no mistake. Could that be a gateway? Could that be a gateway to move people into the platform, and then as they mature, as their interests changed, as they whatever may be, right? They utilize other aspects of YouTube more.
Yeah. Well, because my girls are very blunt in saying YouTube's for old people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that's got to kill them because, like you said, they want to capture that younger audience.
But
TikTok, I mean, even the, I mean, it's 3/4 bots anyway, so it doesn't really. I mean, it's not an accurate.
But what if you
depiction of followers or anything anyway? So it's like,
right.
What's the I mean, they don't see that, but we're like, what's the point of it? It's 3/4
So you
bots.
do. So you do your shorts, right? You get a following and you get people to start asking questions. It's a very small leap on the YouTube platform to then go to a live stream, right? And then there you've got super chat function with people that, that kind of weird stuff gets, you don't believe me, just go randomly look at live streams at any given time of the day or night on YouTube, right? There's some weird stuff and it's weird. Like the lady that prays for people or the lady that tells people their horoscopes or whatever. And there's in an hour, 2-hour live stream, there's thousands of dollars in super chats that get dropped.
Wow.
It is in freaking insane. So there's a lot of weirdness out there and a lot of money. People dump a lot of money into that. And you mentioned it the other day, Jeff, that it's straight up entertainment. There's no other value, right? But does it lead to something? And I think that's what YouTube's looking at. Does it lead to something else?
Right. And that's where I'm trying to figure out how much time and effort to invest in this when, like looking at the data, when we were talking a couple of days ago, and I'm looking at the Google Analytics, I'm like, well, okay, a fifth of the new subs over that time period, it was a week maybe I was looking at, had come from shorts. And that's the bulk of what I published. We had this live stream. We had, I think, one other video in that time period, like a long form video that I posted. Everything else was shorts. But what I really don't know is that if they're actually going to watch any of that long form content, because the people who are really into shorts, like you were saying, the audience that's what they like, are they even going to watch any of the long form stuff? I don't know.
Right. Sub's just a snob. He's basically saying he's lazy.
Well, and
but no, I get what he's saying. And yeah, to your point, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we discussed some things. I need to eventually get with Snob, and he's been playing around with shorts and kind of compare some time frames and some things that have went on. But, I was crushing it with gaining subscribers. And there's subscribers that have stuck around because I see them commenting on other stuff, right? But in October, they redid something. And the way I was doing it anyway, just absolutely crashed.
Yeah. Well, that's when they let me start doing shorts. Or when I started doing them. I guess it's not that they let me, but, when I started doing them, that killed it.
I've been doing them for a while. And it's really
some of you guys talked about it's the reason that I started because you guys said you were having success with it.
Yeah. Well, I did up until yesterday. I hadn't in all of October, not nearly what I did before. So I think the key is using the freaking app and it just being like Snob's saying, it's minimal effort, like literally just click the thing, snap some little stupid video that puts some text on it and upload it and let it go.
Yep.
And it's so quick and easy that if it don't, the only problem, we talked about this, the only problem I have when it comes to branding and looking at your channel page, and this is something that I can do on my end with some of my contacts and potentially work on and talk about, is I wished, because you do that, and then even when I did mine on the phone, right, I went into my studio and I put a thumbnail on it, right? That way it had some kind of uniformity on the channel, on the videos page. So they need to institute, seriously, for those of us that are pretty much long form or regular content creators, they need a totally separate section. It needs to say home, videos, shorts, community, blah, 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 as far as your tabs. They need to separate that out. That way, first of all, it's going to make that stuff easy to find, right? And true, you could just put a short shelf on the home page, but that doesn't help people that want to look through a larger catalog, right, of your videos. So, and that's something I think they could very easily do. And I would not be surprised if somebody's already thought about it and they've got that in the works.
Yeah. Well, I hope this does something, because my revenue on YouTube has been garbage forever. Like, I talk to other people and they talk about dollar amounts, and I'm like, seriously? I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but my revenue has been garbage the whole time. Like, I make tens of dollars on YouTube. It's whereas other people I talk to are making hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars, and I'm like, I've broken 100 a couple times, and I don't get it. But anyhow, if this helps to turn that around, then I'll be happy. But otherwise, I've been playing with doing some editing. Real quick, like, I've got a template and I drop stuff in, and it's maybe taking 10 or 15 minutes per video, but I could do start to finish a whole video in 5 minutes, probably off the phone, like you were saying, just real quick, shoot it, put a little text on it, upload it, done.
Yeah.
Which I think I'm going to play with some of those and see how that works, and include music, because they will not shut up. The community manager will not shut up about including music. And to me, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's like, what I'm doing has nothing to do with the music, but they're all about having this pivot ability where they link the music. Everyone who uses the same music gets kind of linked together, and they try to almost like a big playlist of people based on what music they're playing.
That could be kind of interesting if you think about it, right? So you use 15-second blurbs of a song. So then YouTube organizes those blurbs where you can actually listen to the whole song. You feel what I'm saying? But with 10 different videos or 20 different videos, that video clips, that could be kind of an interesting way to watch. Now, I'm not saying I would be into it, but I'm just saying that could be a very interesting concept.
Okay, Gun Snob is seeing about the same thing I've seen. Is in the last couple months, the views don't seem to have changed a ton. The watch time, the views, that kind of stuff are pretty close, but the revenue has pretty much cut in half.
Well, and what's strange about this is there are more unskippable ads being played. But I will tell you this: summertime is the worst. It's the absolute worst.
Yeah.
I would say from roughly May to roughly August for sure is that little area in there, and definitely once you get more central to that time frame, and July is about that. But yeah, it's bad, and it's going to depend on what kind of content you put out. Right now, if you've got anything that's hunting related, footish, probably going to do a little better than tactical right now, right? And same with like deer season, for example. Right now, if you've got crossbows and archery, could be pretty good. We're getting into, if some states don't already have it, we're already into rifle season in some places with deer. But then you've got duck, right? Starts getting cold. You've got duck and geese, and you've got some things like that. So, yeah. And so if it's a matter of playing all of that out. And I don't know. This is the thing. I mean, we can talk about tactics and we can talk about strategies, but unless we have a one-on-one conversation with each other about it, this is where I get in a lot of trouble, because I'll speak in generalities, right? Just from what I know and a sample of creators and whatever, in my experience. And then somebody goes, "Oh, that's not working for me. This is the way I do it." And they think their way is the right way, and their way may be the right way, but we need to have a private conversation, because I need to know the additional perspectives and other things, and that person needs to know those as well with what I'm talking about, right? And so what I'm saying is, when people see that dip and they don't come back up, which if you know how to try to tailor and work your content, it shouldn't be that difficult to do. But, you know, are you doing that? Are you thinking about the cycles, and are you producing content with the cycles? Because you've got the kind of creators that are out there that say, screw it, I'm going to make what I want to make. I'm going to make the videos I want to make and upload them. Well, that's great. But if you're playing that game, there's no strategy to that, right? You know,
Right.
that's not a basketball game. That's just you on the concrete shooting hoops. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
And so if you're going to play the game, then you need to have a little better strategy about how to play the game. And some people don't think about all the aspects you need to think about in order to play that game. So that's where I like seeing you and Snob and Rogue and the other ones in the shorts, and hopefully learning some things you can pass on to all of us.
Yeah. According to her, people search by the song, and I'm like, to me, again, it becomes just a stupid, just like TikTok, which is
plus we're old, so we're not going to know the cool songs anyway. So
right. Well, and no one wants to see me shaking my booty, and that's like 3/4 of TikTok.
Somebody would pay for that, Jeff. I'm just saying. Somebody out there would pay for that.
Yeah. Well, hey, I've thought about doing a
dad bod booty shaking. There you go.
All right, coming up next, I'll start a B channel for that. Every video you watch is non-skippable Google Fi ad, pretty much. Yeah. Wow. That's disturbing. Okay, but thank you.
Super chat.
Apparently they do. Yeah. Yeah, super chat. Yeah. But then I'll be pissed because they take so much of a percentage of it. You know?
Oh, yeah, you would be.
Like, it's my booty. Yeah, I don't need a pimp. It's my booty.
Right.
If I want to get paid for shaking my booty, I want to get paid. All right, I'm going to show one more thing. We're pushing 2 hours, I think, so we probably need to wrap up. But I want to show something real quick here and get some discussion since we got mostly gun people here. Let me open up my Facebook here. Hopefully nothing incriminating will pop up in the background here. Can everyone see this? It's probably too small to read, but I'll tell you what we're looking at.
Yeah, I saw it today.
The way it's worded, it's talking about Hornady saying basically you have to get vaccinated. Please, please, please get the vaccine. I recognize this issue has gone way beyond a health measure and is to some very personal, but there's nothing we, parentheses, and ultimately you, can do to avoid this. We want to be proactive and give everyone an opportunity to get to full vaccination status by the deadline, which could be as early as December 8th, 2021. We understand, this is the part that really got me. We understand this is a difficult situation, and we will make sure to keep you informed as we learn more about the mandate in the coming days. There is also a tremendous amount of misinformation and flat-out lies about this mandate. Please listen to the guidance we provide, not the internet, social media, or even your coworkers. That, to me, I'm like, the fuck did they just say? You know? Like, listen to us. We are the source of truth. And they're using the same, misinformation label.
Well, that was my thing. I was like, listen, it's your company. You can do what you want. You don't have to follow the whatever specified guidelines. It's your company. Do what you want.
So I didn't read it that way. The way I read this is I read two things into this. It seems like we're covering our butt, and at the same time, we're giving an out, because there are exemptions, right? But maybe they're exemptions that they don't want to blast out, so they're leaked, so that then there's some kind of a backlash, right? Because of the overabundance of those exemptions used within the company. So that would be one reason. It's like, hey, don't listen to what everybody's throwing out there. Come to us, and they'll custom tailor that exemption to whatever your thoughts or feelings are, right? They're like, hey, here's some options we can use if you don't want to do this. Which one are you most comfortable with? Cool, we'll put you down for that. Go on about it, your business, right?
That's what I'm hoping.
That's the way I read it. But I'm rare because I'm kind of an optimist in a way. So I'm probably wrong.
Nothing in the article says anything about that. You know?
Well, but why would it? Why would you put? Why would you show? Why would you show your hand? Right? If you wanted to cover your butt and look like for tax purposes or government contracts or whatever it was from a corporate standpoint, why would you dispel information that in a public manner like that you don't have to dispel? It doesn't make any sense. It's not strategic in that manner.
Yeah, if they're playing 4D chess here, then
well, it's not really 4D chess. I mean, how many times have you, whether that's your kid or whether that's whatever, you've said something in a PTA meeting or whatever, and then on the way out the door, you're like, well, that doesn't apply to you. We'll take care of it on the back end type thing, right? But you didn't stand up and say that in the PTA meeting. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm just being overly optimistic. Probably the world's probably going to burn and everything else because of Hornady and what they're doing. Let's be honest about it.
Well, so I guess my point is there are some industries that have a more political. I mean, let's face it, this is a political issue. This isn't a science issue. Science has been thrown out the window. Science is about questioning things and developing means of testing hypotheses to see if you can prove them or not. And it's about actively challenging results to see if they are reproducible and if there are any methodical issues, any issues with the methods that were used to test the hypotheses. But that's not how science is being used today. It's being used to beat people over the head with, you can't question this. This is science. And it's like, what are you talking about? Science is questioning things. That is what science is. Right. So when I read this about, please, please, please just get the vaccine. We're going to make it available. I mean, to me, it's saying just what it says. We can't get out. There's no way we can get out of this. So we're just going to do it. Whereas I think, in this industry, unless they published this and then he went to everyone's cube and said, listen, I'm publishing this, but it's window dressing. Here's what we're really doing. But then why would they then give fuel to other people to say, look at this big company that's doing it? To me, it's like I can't figure out like a PR slant or a strategy where doing this in anything other than a genuine manner would make any sense at all. There's too much potential blowback from doing this. I can't see them doing it unless it's genuine because there's too much potential blowback. So to me, it kind of blows me away that in this industry where people are so freedom oriented, that anyone would take a stand like this when they don't have to, kind of blows my mind.
Yeah. Oh, that's my biggest thing. You don't have to. It's your, you can do what you want. It's your company.
Yeah. All right. So let me get rid of that.
We don't have that problem down here.
Right.
All right. Where are we?
I don't know. I don't know where you're at. Okay. There we go.
All right. Gear Report on OnlyFans. I'm glad someone found our OnlyFans page. It'd be good if you subscribe and not just watch the free stuff, though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheap bastard.
Apparently, you did not watch my shorts last night. Okay. I washed my shorts last night. Yeah, I bet. Let's see. Hasn't been a week yet. All right. Anyhow, yeah, I think we have probably gone over our time by enough that we should shut it down because it's getting late. It's 11. Holy smokes.
I know. I should probably get Crystal. She's probably, she's still at the bar. I know she's still at the bar.
Oh my goodness.
Yet, so.
Let's see.
That might be a wreck.
I urge you to test that hypothesis at your earliest convenience. I'm not sure what that is referring to, but actually met the owner of Hornady, sort of a douche. Guaranteed it's a CTA must, what is that? Covered that ass? Is that what that means?
Yeah.
It's a CYA. maybe, but yeah, I don't know. It seems like it opens to too much criticism within our own, within their customer base. So yeah,
I've seen it.
bizarre. Absolutely,
I've seen it out there a lot, and a lot of people were not happy about it.
Yep.
But companies put out things, or somebody puts out things all the time, and
oh yeah,
again, the world's on fire,
right?
Fire and brimstone, everything, the sky's falling, and people just read the negativity into every single little thing, and there's going to be people that way, just like like I said, hopelessly optimistic, I guess, guilty as charged, but let's read it. Let's look at it from as many different perspectives as we can look at it, which is helpful. And then let's sit back and sit back. Yeah. Exactly. Sit back and see what happens. I can guarantee you the world is not going to split in two because Hornady has a vaccine mandate.
And I really don't think they're going to. I really don't think they're going to nuke a bunch of their employees either. I mean, that would be a douche move too.
Right. I don't see the world ending over it. If it's something that the world's not going to end over, then let's not freak out. But unless you want 1 million views on YouTube, and then freak out by all means and put a catchy title and thumbnail, and make that sweet YouTube ad money or super chat or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. I think momentum on an issue like this, it's important, and when brands have influence and they take a stance like that, it's very troubling to me. So I'm not going to say it's actually, doesn't mean the world's on fire, but it's a match, and you get enough matches together, and now you have a real fire. So
yeah,
I don't like to see them.
But sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. A lot of people say that, right? But sometimes it's just somebody kicked back, smoking a joint. It's not a fire, right? So,
right.
Sometimes smoke doesn't, where there's smoke, there's fire. Well, not necessarily.
Yeah, I think it's more of a wait and see what happens. I mean, like I said, I don't think they're going to nuke that. A bunch of
well, they're not let's be honest about this situation. They're not the only company that's facing this issue.
Right.
So, do you think? So does anyone think? So, get back to the 4D chess idea. Is this a setup? Are they saying this to rile everyone up so that then they can then get a bunch of attention for standing up and saying, okay, we're not going to, or to empower their employees to make a big scene and fight back, and
and then give them the clout to go, oh, look at our employees, we can't lose all our workforce, right? To give them cover. What you're saying?
Yeah. Listen, to me, if the employees get to keep their jobs, I would go that route perfectly. Yeah, freaking ride up, guys. Ride up and be like, listen, we're keeping our jobs, and then go from there.
But I mean, none of us. Here's the thing: none of us are in the executive suites of Hornady, right? We don't even work the third shift on the bullet line, right? So, I mean, and that's the case with a lot of these companies, is you don't know what's going on, and when you're talking about a move a business is making and why they're making it, there's so much speculation on that.
Yeah.
It's easy to Monday morning quarterback, that kind of crap. I would do this, I would do that. No, I mean, I had a business that was not a multi-million-dollar company, or maybe Hornady's worth more than that. I don't know. But either way, you know what I mean? And it affected decisions I made, right? I had to weigh certain things. I had to be calculated with a lot of the things I did. And that's no different. And I'm not saying you have to be shady and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. But
yeah. Well, I don't know.
Can we be Slim Shady?
Maybe.
Slim Shady.
Maybe, if that's your name. Anyway.
Jeff kind of looks like Slim Shady.
My name is. He does nowadays. Have you seen that dude? I pulled a. What was I doing? A video, or am I still working on one? I don't remember. I don't remember if I'm making a video or I'm working on a video that I was going to use a pic of Eminem. And dude, I just typed in Eminem, and my God, I've had to go back and try to find an older pic because, like, I don't even recognize him now.
Huh.
He looks kind of like TJ now, honestly.
Wow.
It could be me.
TJ also looks like Tim McGraw, though.
I got the scruff going on. It's getting there.
You got the ukulele. Get you a really hard, cowboy hat like he wears.
So I need one of those. Yeah, those. I don't know what those cowboys are. You could throw them and they still stay in the same shape.
Yeah, it's literally like a hard hat.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I think we've passed the point of making a last call for questions and comments at this point. For now, I'm going to say, anyone want to make your little parting comments real quick? TJ, Clover, anything you'd like you have coming up you want to promote? Anything, speak now or speak on your own time, because we're going to shut this down.
Well, it's been scrolling below the whole show, but go check out patreon.com/Gear-Report.
Hey, you like how, wasn't it your suggestion to put it on the little
I'm sure it was
thing down there?
I'm sure it was. I'll take credit for it either way.
I
think it was.
Yeah, so there it is. See,
so the only other thing you need to learn is how to use the overlays, because you've got all your graphics in the background, and that's great. But like the ride-on graphic and all that, you could finagle that into an overlay situation. But we'll work on that. We'll work on that.
We can work on it.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
that's bougie talk right there.
Yeah. Well, did you see it, TJ? There is an overlay there. I could use a generic overlay. That's kind of crappy. It's got their logo on it. But then I made this one. I just got to figure out the right way.
Yeah, you kind of gotta run it. You kind of gotta run it around. You need to get 4 or 6 people into the chat, and
I would cover me up in a heartbeat anyways. I would do it.
Yeah, but you got to make one for every number of people that are in the room. You know what I mean? Because it's going to change.
There we go. Perfect. Hold on.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So anyhow, all right, that's going to wrap it up for this evening.
I agree.
Weirdos. That seems like a statement. But okay, whatever. I can own it.
I am a night weirdo.
I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
There's our 2 hours and 12 minutes. Holy smokes. All right, folks. You have now squandered 2 hours and 12 minutes of your life. You're never getting that back. I hope it was worthwhile for you, because there's nothing you can do about it. But we appreciate it. We hope you got some value out of this. If not, at least some entertainment in more than a 15-second burst. And it wasn't in vertical video. This is where the real stuff happens. Okay. So we appreciate you. I don't know what that means, but we appreciate you being here. TJ, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you making it after your adult kickball league game, because we got priorities here. And Clover, if you missed his well, you didn't do it live. You did you recorded a podcast, right?
I recorded it live. No, I record live. I record them live. Yeah. So it's still
I thought you've been doing some the other way too. But
it was banging, man. Yeah, Logan with High Caliber History, and so he works with museums and all kinds of stuff. So I mean, he's literally been able to fondle, $1 million guns and uber rare guns and all kinds of things. So it was a very cool conversation, for sure. If you like,
people can find that on your main Clover Tech channel.
Yeah, or probably tomorrow morning on audio podcast form. Wherever you might peruse that kind of content.
All right. Well, give me something to do while I'm working tomorrow. So I'll be sure to go watch that. Y'all go do the same thing. And last reminder before I'm wanting to point. I'm not ready to point yet. I'm going to preload the pointing finger and say, remember, tell your friends we have moved from the Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern to Thursday. I think we're probably going to keep this 9 p.m. time slot, because TJ and I both seem to have some time conflicts at 8 p.m. This is probably what we're going to do. So keep an eye out on all our different social media, and you'll see the announcement for when things are going to happen. Looks like Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Until next time, we'll see you at the range.